This is the rarest Toyota truck in the United States. The first year of production, they only made 4 and were produced in the United States from 1964 to 1967 with a total of 3,400 units made. Not only is this a very rare truck, this Toyota Stout is probably the roughest one in existence still left today. And about 64% of it is here. Check the seat out. That is comfortable right there. Springs right up the tater hole. Dang, this is a rental truck.
Spider on my leg.
You keep turning the wheel to the right and it keeps going that way. Straighten the wheel out. Turn it to the right or left.
Is this thing 12 foot wide? All right,
Well, I want to
This rig's only been since 1984, and you can definitely get parts for this thing. Story is, this truck began its life in Arkansas. Then it was sold to a gentleman where he took it to Colorado. He did a paint job. This is the paint job right here. Believe it or not, that's the same exact truck that you're seeing right here. Here's your first glimpse of the interior right here. Very non-existent, and we just lost part of our truck right there. So that's a little bit of Bondo. I bought this $5 carburetor from a swap meet. You'll figure out real soon why. But there's not much left to this old rig. It's a very simple truck. You can see she is a manual. One small bucket seat and a medium-sized bench. On the old speedometer here, we're showing 31,996 miles. She has a tach, so you know she was a race truck. Look at that. Not much to it, but it looks like it's mostly here. Here's our hood release right here. I hope you guys are like the 3 blind mice because this does not look good. We don't even have a carburetor on the rig. We can definitely buy one of those. Nope. And there's a lot of sticks. Stuff's been living in here. One thing about it, other than the carburetor missing, it looks pretty complete. So that's good because like I said, we're probably not gonna be able to buy parts for this thing. You look on eBay and there's like nothing in his existence for this. It's about as simple as it gets. I imagine we have points inside here and on our side our cute little cap and rotor. There's our coil. Carburetor. That's why we got that $5 swap meet one. We'll be throwing that on there. I believe it should fit. I guess this is our throttle linkage, manual brakes, manual everything. Our air box. We can go ahead and take a look at what's inside this. $1984 for something to be sitting is quite some time. That's actually pretty clean. It's harder than a rock. Look at that. I don't even know what that brand is. Okay, there's our air box. We'll mess with that more later. Here's some information on it right here. Looks like it's an RK41. Engine model is a 3R. Number of cylinders 4. Bore 3.46 inches with a stroke of 3.07 inches. Piston displacement 115.76 cubic inches of power. Wow, that thing probably produces about 80 horsepower. Speed demon. It's a cool little motor, or cute, whatever you want to say. But the first thing we need to do is we need to get this all cleaned out, and then we'll go from there. It's pretty awesome that that's straight down the intake. That's going to be real good on it, I'm sure. And it is filled in there. It's not like it's just a little bit. It's a lot of it. Oh yeah, you like that? You like that? Oh yeah? You like when I stick it in your hole? Well, you're a dirty little girl. You got a lot of crud down in your hole. Oh, this can't be good. Oh, yeah, I have no concern that this thing's gonna run. Air compressor ain't nearby, so we'll see how this does. Now, we don't know if it's locked up or not. I really hope it's not. If it is, we're gonna get her unlocked. I feel comfortable with how the intake is now. Let's see if she's freed up. Our belt's slipping. Oh yeah, she's rolling over. You can see that bottom pulley. Watch that bottom pulley. Spins over. Oh, fairly easy, actually. Real easy. Well, that makes me happy. She's freed up, so she must not got enough water down in the intake there. Fluid check. Coolant, no, nothing. Kind of figures. The more important one, oil, nothing. Maybe something right on the end right there. Important. Okay, so we definitely want oil before we get too crazy. Stick that back in here. This, gone. I'm kind of impressed. The plug wires are not gone. They look just fine. Let's see what's inside this little cap here. This thing is cute. Oh yeah, got a point system. Look at that, tiny. Definitely some corrosion on it. We'll come back to these in a bit. Main thing we want to try and figure out is the carburetor, how we're gonna make that work. So the carburetor we're planning on using is this Carter right here. I believe this is for a small block Mopar, and it looked about the right size. So hopefully she is, and we can use this thing. Because if we don't have a carburetor, we're not going to get this thing running today. Before we do the carburetor though, we're going to see if we can get it start turning over. I'm going to start soaking some stuff down. Anything we might have to break free in the future, I'm going to get wet. Just to be proactive here. Get her nice and lubricated. And we can't forget to put oil in this thing. She is low. We don't know what she takes, but this is what she's taking. This will also lubricate the top end of the motor, which is good. It's crazy how easy it rolls over. Can be bad. Oh yeah, that's looking good right there. That'll be good enough. All right, battery. Fire test. If we can get the positive. Nothing. Hope that starter's not gonna be locked up. That would be bad. I should probably unhook our fuel pump right here because we know that can't be good. Let's do that. We just got this screw here and we'll get it off. Ooh, that thing is rusty. It'd be awesome if this thing runs since 1984. There's our hose. Didn't even need to loosen that hose clamp because it just broke. Well, that hose is breaking everywhere. Well, yeah, that's great. All right, unhooked. That's just the starter spinning, ain't it? We're gonna try and turn it over and we'll hit it with our hammer right here. Nothing. 12 it is. Looks like we might have some bolts right here. Maybe one on the bottom. I think this is our next bolt right here. We're on it. Oh, it spun easy. Look how easy it's spinning though. We'll give her a wiggle here and see what it does. Oh, first glimpse of the bottom side of the rig. It's not actually that bad compared to the top. Oh, 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 oh. And here's our starter. Oh, there she is. Now what I was saying, this is spinning, but this isn't pushing out to engage on the flywheel to turn this thing over. It's crazy, all that grime. It looks like this starter is original. It's not doing that. There it did. It's not staying out. I think what's happening is that this right here, you call this a Bendix or pinion gear, and basically whenever the starter spins over real quick, the inertia is supposed to cause this guy to push out into the flywheel. That's pretty sticky, so I looped it down like crazy. We're gonna keep working her here and see what she'll do. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing at all. I don't remember how this all goes back together. I don't know what's going on necessarily, but I know how it comes apart now. Doesn't look like you're supposed to take it apart. Well, I just spent about 2 hours taking this apart, getting it to, I don't know, think that I was working on it, but sounds like where your ignition goes in over here, right on the backside here where your ignition would send power whenever you turn it on. I guess that has to be hot as well for that to actually stay out. Now if you watch, it works just fine.
I really don't need your assistance.
She wants to put her butthole in your face.
I do not want your butthole in my face for damn sure. I'll put brake fluid in it and you're not gonna like that.
See, what's attention? What's this guy doing?
I have no idea. There ain't no way this is gonna work. Yeah, that doesn't get anywhere near fitting. Not even close. I can see it's off by half a hole. You got any other carburetors? Boy.
No, I do, but this is the one.
It don't fit at all. Nowhere close. We gotta try something else.
Well, that carburetor didn't work, so we're trying some different options. Baker, what do you got? Hey, you got you a lizard? Whoa, it took off on you. Where did it go? There it is. Get it. Just eat it if you're gonna eat it. We tried some this Holly here, and we tried whatever this guy is here that I bought at swap meet as well. But none of that's gonna work, so we're either gonna have to build an adapter to fit this, or just spray starting fluid straight down the intake, which is not recommended.
I don't touch anything else.
Oh yeah, she's turning over right away. I should have pulled the plugs out. Let's pull the plugs real quick. Take these out. I think there's gonna be a lot of debris that this thing's gonna be sucking up.
You had a shot vac, which I think I gave you one.
What? Those plugs look brand new. Just as clean as number one was. Those look really good. No complaints there. They look like they were just replaced back in '84. Got compression. She's pushing air. Good compression.
Keep doing that. It's sucking all that crap out of there. There's a little bit of dust still in there. I couldn't get out of there.
Oh.
That one's weak.
That's a weak one. Cylinder 2. Oh man, one's dead. One is dead.
May have to put some transmission fluid down it, let it soak some mystery oil or something. Probably got a ring stuck. Yeah, she ain't gonna run if she ain't got no compression. So
we're gonna lube the cylinders. We turned it over a couple times, but we're gonna do this, let it blow out, and see if she can fire up.
Yes. Try to catch some of it for you.
I'd rather see it.
Well, it's gonna shoot you right directly in the face. I mean right in the face.
Oh,
see?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I told you.
All right.
I told you what I was gonna do.
I'll stand over here. Kind of better. Is this the only thing you can make squirt?
Unfortunately. Why are you so slow?
I'm so slimed up. That thing's
Why
slick.
do you have a 12-inch long extension?
It's the only one in the kit.
No, it's not. There's a 4-inch one over there.
That's not good.
You have it started?
Oh, I don't think it was on it. There we go.
Don't break it.
Cleaning points, getting spark. Oh yeah, she's sparking.
I think that contactor started right there. I moved it and cleaned it up a little bit, so.
Right down the intake. I would stand away from that. Holy crap. You want a water bottle so it can drip?
That would be nice. I need.
Do the bear image. It's always gonna
If
run.
I had some way to squirt
All right.
that, I could make this work.
Alright. We need a carburetor and then sit here and run.
Yeah, probably. Try it again. We probably ought to stop. Yes, there's all kinds of nuts and limbs. It's pushed a bunch of it back out of there. If it fires up, it's going to try to suck all that. That just came out of there, all that.
So I've bought several carburetors for this thing and they just do not fit, but I finally found one. So this guy is a Chinese little Nissan Datsun carburetor for like a 70s Datsun. This thing has the same flange, but it fits kind of weird, but it should work. So your float level, that's supposed to be facing forward, but as you can see, if that was forward, based off how that flange is, your throttle is going to be sideways. It's going to be like this in the motor, when it's supposed to be like this. Also, it doesn't fit this way with the throttle moving, so we have to turn it 180 and it fits this way. This is the only way that'll actually work. We'll sit it down on there. It slides down and then our throttle will work right here. Now we can't get full adjustment because then this spring hits. Now, with that being said, it should be able to run the way it is. It opens up enough, and if this motor's good, then we could probably bend that linkage and make this thing work a little better than what it is. Now I'm pretty excited because we have a carburetor and I have more confidence than squirting starting fluid straight down the intake. This air filter box is just in the way, so we're going to take that off. Now I do have something to show you guys related to a Stout. And it might not be this one. If you picking up what I'm putting down. Alright, that should be it. Get that out of the way. Look how fat my hand is. I got stung by a paper wasp right there. Then on the back side of my forearm. That feels awesome. It's hard to even use that hand right now. So if you look right here, it's rubbing on the intake there. Which I think I can bend this back this way. And then it'll work a lot better for us. There we go. That worked. Bends easy. Time to turn this thing over and see if a carburetor will bring this thing to life. Come on. Got it. Holy crap. We about just had it running. It's gonna run. Holy crap. Holy crap. Wow, that's amazing. You guys saw how rough this thing was. This truck is by far the coolest car I have in my opinion. I am going to build a Toyota Stout one of these days. And let me tell you, I bought another. We'll show you here in a bit. But we need a drivetrain. And there's not too many of these that are still original. And it'd be pretty cool to use the 3R motor because supposedly they got pretty good power. And also, I didn't realize it, you can see the shifter is on the column or on the tree, and that is a 4-speed. It's not a 3 on the tree, it is a 4 on the tree. Kind of odd. But that's enough for jibber jabbering. Let's crank it over some more and see if we can actually get this thing to sit here and idle. I believe if I dump gas down this, it'll fill up the bowl or just make a mess, one of the two. And it should squirt out the jets now if we rev it. Yep, I can see it squirting. That'll help it run for sure. Let's try this again. Come on. Oh, it seemed like it was gonna. I'm going through, pulling all the plugs. They got a lot of feel on them. That's not gonna help it run. I said we flooded this thing several times now. I pulled our cap, started looking at the points, cleaned those up just a tad. Then I was rotating the motor over with the coil hooked up. And what I was hearing is something grounding. And looking at the wire coming off the coil going to the distributor cap on the bottom side here, right there, that thing was grounding to the inner fender. That's going to cause a weak spark to get to our plugs. So I'm going to put some electrical tape on this. I think we should definitely have better spark now. Didn't even have to rev it that time. She wants to run. Oh, that starter's super hot. We ought to let that cool down. Let's show you all something. As you know, this Stout is very rough. And here is Stout number 2. Now, I bought this truck for several reasons. Mine needs several parts, but it does have some stuff that's usable. So this one right here, a much better bed. This thing is pretty dang good. The bed sides are good, and it actually has a floor in it. That is way better, so we'll be using that. And holy crap, it's got a tailgate. Now, is it perfect? No, but we are not going for a perfect looking truck. We're doing something that is going to be drivable, fun, and just overall an attention getter, because these Stouts, I've never even seen one of these before I bought mine, and then found this one surprisingly in Missouri again. I don't even know if there's any more left in Missouri. The worst of this truck is going to be the driver's door. This is not usable. We'll have to use it off the other truck. That is a very, very, very bad. The front clip though is pretty dang good. As you can see inside here, engine is already gone out of this one. So it's almost an open canvas of what we could do. We could either put a 3R in here. We could try and find a little Toyota truck. The best of this truck is probably in here. We have a solid hood. The bench seat is surprisingly in really good shape and usable. The steering wheel was preserved pretty good, and it's got some of the badges. Also, I was missing these right here. I didn't have the Stout 1900 badges. We have 2 right here that are in pretty good shape. At the end of the day, they don't make any more of these trucks. They were pretty rare in the United States. They are rare in the United States. And I absolutely love these little Toyota trucks ever since I've figured out what they were. You guys comment what you think we should do for a drivetrain. A lot of people have done the 22R. I'm trying to stay away from that, but it's honestly the most simple swap to do because the wheelbases are like an inch off, and those are pretty good stout little motors. Now you guys kind of understand the plan with the Stouts. Let's go see if we get this 3R to run a little better. She does want to run, but she's just grumpy and old, okay? It likes to be choked, and then we can play with the throttle here. Yes, sir. Oh, holy crap. She is an animal. Angry little thing. That motor does not sound bad. That's the first I've seen smoke come out of the exhaust. I was wondering if it was plugged up. Good deal. The old Datsun carburetor can work. Wow.
You cracked me up.
Well, it's running pretty dang good. It'll sit there and idle. I think if I hook up an electronic fuel pump, we can possibly drive this thing. It's getting late. We'll come back to it tomorrow. I went to O'Reilly's. I got coolant for this thing. I got oil and a filter. Now, I don't know if the filter's right because supposedly from factory, these were supposed to have a cartridge. This one does not have a cartridge. It has a normal filter. So I think someone's actually changed this. A common swap is going to a setup like a 69 Toyota Crown has, I guess. Just what I read on the forums on Facebook. And so I ended up just buying a Wix 51 5 oil filter, and it does look similar to what's on here. I'm not 100% sure because there's no part number on this one, but we'll figure that out here soon. Before we change all the oil and everything, I am going to hook up a fuel system, but I do want to start running coolant through this thing before we do that. So I'm going to try and fix this busted up hose that's leaking like crazy right now. Well, no using that. I might have destroyed her. Here's a radiator out of an old Dodge truck, upper hose. This is what's good about being a junker or a hoarder, leaving crap lay around. You can just make stuff work. There we go. Quite a bit thicker, but maybe if we dumbbell clamp it'll work. It looks like if we cut it just like this, where it comes out there and straight down. So cut her down here, give us a little extra length. That should work, I think. Well, it's on there. Feels tight. We'll see if it actually holds. Don't see any coolant coming out. For a fuel system, I'm going to use this factory fuel line just because it is metal and that's quite a bit nicer than having rubber going across the motor. There we go. Clean cut. Instead of doing an electrical fuel pump, we'll try and use this mechanical. All right, there's the fuel system coming from the jug, going to the factory fuel pump using the hard line fuel filter. This isn't in the best little angle there, but we'll see if that works. Let's get a battery in here, turn her over, see if we can get this thing primed, see if we can get it to sit here and idle without us have to dry out the cylinder walls by putting way too much starting fluid down it. Also, I might have just found an 80s S10 4-cylinder manual. Would that be a good swap? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Sweet. Let's hook up the coil and see if it wants to run. That fuel pump obviously worked. This might be a good little truck. Also, I don't see coolant coming out of our lower radiator hose we hooked up. Sounds good. It's in there idling. Not smoking. Blowing coolant everywhere. This truck's not even smoking. It sounds great. That's nuts. Over 60 pounds oil pressure. I am amazed. You guys saw how much crud, sticks, everything else was down into this little 3R motor, and it is sitting here purring since 1984. That is just incredible. Toyota makes a great product. They always had. It's amazing to me that this truck, it wasn't popular. It was the first truck that Toyota was trying to do in the United States here. And honestly, they didn't have the credibility. They weren't known enough about how reliable and a great product Toyota makes. And this right here proves it, from a truck that is over 60 years old, sitting here purring like a kitten. Can't tell, but there's coolant leaking out of the water pump somewhere right there. Stay tuned for the next episode as we reveal what we'll be using for a drivetrain for a 1967 Toyota Stout. Thank you guys for the support. Have a good night.